I think it feels good. Here, right now, very comfortable. Yeah. There. Yep. So it's coming over here. So it might be better. Right on the other side.
And then there's no one letting. That's not Sorry, everybody. You ready, Karen? School pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's have a roll call, please.
Ms. Brian? Here. Mr. Burke?
Here.
Stelia? Here. Ms. Wells? Here. Mayor Noah?
Here.
First item is public portion.
Start motion. We'll open the first public portion. Start over here. Good.
Ms. Parker, Shore Drive. Question on R16-134. That's the resolution approving the tax exemption. When I read through the actual borough code, 2-8.5, section F, and under that number 2 says after the governing body adopts an ordinance. So do we need an ordinance or do we need a resolution?
You can do this by, it's ordinarily done by resolution.
Okay.
But this resolution today sets forth that it's the intent to enter into a tax agreement with him, conditioned upon him satisfying borough code, the statutes, the satisfaction of the assessor. So this is just the intent to enter into that once he meets all the conditions.
Do we need to update the borough code?
We'll, as with anything, we will look into it.
Okay.
But generally speaking, there was an ordinance which put the fees are in effect for 10-year terms, and this was updated 10 years that the ordinance we were referring to. But once we get into the stage of giving the tax exemption, we'll take a closer look at it because the project's not complete yet, as you can see by reading the resolution. This is just the intent to do that once he satisfies all the criteria.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody else on this side? Any questions on it? Over here.
Barbara Nucci, 28 Shrewsbury Avenue. R16-140, resolution appointing the recreation committee member. I noticed it was posted on the website according to public notices on 5/31. I believe there's a June 8th deadline for other people to submit.
Yeah, I think there's 3 empty seats right now, Barbara, and we're using one from the, one person didn't make the cut the last time. So the goal was to, that was the last app from the last go around. So we didn't want to throw them out and they apply. Again, we want to appoint them and then still have 2 empty seats, hopefully appointed the next week.
And actually, we'll have 3 empty
I was going to say, actually,
because we were going to, we could probably table this actually.
I was going to motion to table before we moved
Yeah.
up the motion for both, actually, 16-128 is tabled and 16-140 is also tabled.
Okay.
Okay.
So that was the intent of why we did it, and those circumstances have changed since then. Then we're going to appoint the other 2. Now it sounds like we're going to appoint the other 3.
So, and if people are interested, please sign up.
Please let anybody you know wants to get involved in it. We have 3 empty seats on the. Is there any other questions from the public on the first beginning of the meeting items? No? Okay, close. Oh, sorry, Ms. Dibble, go ahead.
Lori DeVille, 3 Matthew Street. I'm wondering for the summer recreation employment that you guys have listed here, there's a recreation program that goes from July 5th to August 12th. But on the appointments for the positions, you have two different time periods. One for, I guess, the people who are doing the food for the July 5th to the August 12th program. But then for a week before that and a week after that, you have all these other people that you're employing. What, is that for a different program?
I don't know that.
Well, there's two programs, there's a summer food program and
And
there's
then
a
the
summer
whole rec
recreation
program.
program. So it's also the summer kids program.
So one of it's part of the program, the other one encompasses the whole thing.
And the reason that they're separate is because there's a grant specifically for the summer food program that covers the salaries of those people as well as obviously the food that's provided. So those have to be separate so that the documents for the grant.
So is there programming that's for a week before that and then a week after this July?
So the program goes from a week before to a week after. The food program covers the weeks in between. So the first week and the last week, I assume there is no food program.
Well, the advertisement is, the program is for the 5th to the 12th, and that's when the food program is. But the employment for the summer recreation center is 6/27 to 8/18.
I think it's set up and planning and everything. And then obviously I think there's still people in it. And after that, break it down. That's what we're going for, those traditions.
So are these positions that are listed on R16-137 that are not designated as part-time, are those full-time positions?
No.
Well,
no.
Yeah, I believe they're all part-time.
They're all part of
And even if you want, yeah.
the hours are on the side.
It was one of the questions we actually discussed as a council in the executive session. It's based on the child load. If there's a lot of kids, obviously there's going to be more hours. Again, it's driven based on the number of kids. So.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about was documenting this year, that we just talked about in there. I'm sure there's kids that have other programs they go to connected to the school, sports, or whatever it is, and then come before, after, during, is to figure out the capacities or just the amount of people that are using the program in the mornings, the days, the weeks, as people on vacations. So without knowing truly what those numbers are, because we haven't really done, in my mind, a good job of documenting that in the past, going forward, we would make some of these job description changes. The total number of hours at the discretion of the director. Because as they know when their resources are needed, they can apply them. When they know they're not needed in advance, they can pull them back and save money.
I just have a question. If you haven't documented it in the past, haven't you qualified for grants?
Well, actually, I don't
No,
think
I
it's
mean,
fair to know that we know if we documented or not.
I mean-
The question came through today.
Right. In
From
my mind, if we don't
three-
have the answers right now, then okay, so there's 130 kids, let's say, average in the program. Are they all there full time, all those weeks? Are some rotating out? Are some here 2 days a week? Some here 5 days a week? I don't know that you're required to have that intense documentation. I think we want to do it going forward. So to the point, maybe some of these people are here 15 hours. Maybe they only have to be here 10. Maybe it's the other way. Maybe they're here 20 and need to be here 25. Unless we really know the capacities at all the times, let's say we do it every 3 hours, we're not really going to know how to direct it. But there is one way to fix it going forward. We talked about having a recreational director, and all the job descriptions will be written in there, because some of these are, related to the person who's in civil service, where they determine how many hours a week those people work. And then this way we can apply resources when we need and pull them back to the number. And hopefully get more bang for the buck.
In all fairness to the Parks and Rec, that data might exist, we just have to file it.
Correct, right.
I know, we don't
Yeah, there
want
may
to-
be a lot for all we know, but it came in kind of late, we had the discussion kind of quick. So I think we could definitely reach out to Jen tomorrow and ask what kind of information is taken daily.
And if not, I think we have an idea what we want to know this summer, so we can plan. for
I gotta
next
be honest, just from the school system, I'd be hard pressed to think kids don't sign in and out every day, so you know how many are here.
I would agree.
You
Well,
know,
let's know what the capacities are.
right, yeah.
So you have 17 people listed on this for the summer employment. Is that a similar number that you've had in the past before Hurricane Sandy?
Based on having 130 kids average the last 2 years is our opinion.
Okay.
total in the program. Now, again, we want to know, are those 130 here, whatever the number is, 30 hours a week, are there 20 here, 15 hours a week? You know, that's what we kind of want to know going forward. They may already know, but we want to really document this issue. Okay, I'll close this public.
Consent agenda?
Does anybody have anything on there? We already talked about we're going to remove 128 and 140.
They don't.
Does anybody have any payment of bills they want to talk about separately? Shared services, everything's good, everybody's good with everything? Okay, I'll offer it.
Offered by Mayor Knoll. Second by Ms. Wells. Ms. Breon.
Yes.
Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Ms. Diarrigo.
Yes.
Mrs. Wells.
Yes.
Mayor Knoll.
Yes, please. Is everybody here?
I'm sorry?
Is everybody here? Just voting?
Yes. Resolution R16-121, resolution appointing part-time renting.
I think I'll make a motion, Dana,
Dana Kuchar.
K-U-D-R-I-C-K.
Hold that in 1 second.
Oh, I'll second, I'm sorry.
That's
Second
okay.
by Ms. Diarrigo. Ms. Breon.
Yes.
Mr. Hart. Ms. Diarrigo.
Yes.
Mrs. Wells.
Yes.
Mayor Knoll.
Yes.
Resolution R16-125, resolution appointing DPW summer season.
I asked for this to be tabled due to the fact that I did the conversation with Brian today to do DA. We had a preliminary conversation, we just want to go over, I think, delaying it 2 weeks, or DPW.
You want to offer it for the next meeting?
Yes, I would like to.
I'll second that.
Second by Mayor Knoll.
I'll second it.
Third? Second.
No, third. I'll third it.
Yes.
Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Ms. Diarrigo.
Yes.
Mrs. Wells.
Yes.
Mayor Knoll.
Yes.
Resolution R16-128, resolution appointing special officer. Chief Lewin has requested that be tabled.
Yep.
Make a
Yes,
motion.
please table that.
Someone make a motion. Offered by Ms. Wells.
I'll second it.
Second by Mayor Knoll. Ms. Breon.
Yes.
Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Ms. Diarrigo.
Yes.
Mrs. Wells.
Yes.
Mayor Knoll.
Yes, please.
Resolution R16-131, resolution awarding professional architectural services. Ms. Breon, can you say that name?
We are very happy and pleased to have you working with Settembrino Associates.
There you go. Doug, you want a second?
Yeah, I'll second that before, myself, Carolyn, and the team there set up the meeting. We interviewed quite a few architectural firms. This is a firm that's our neighbors, they're doing Seabright, so there's someone that has vested interest in our community next door, so we went with a smaller firm, it's gonna give us more of a white glove service versus the bigger firms. I'm very confident with this organization, so definitely send it.
That's a motion and second, and that would be for an amount not to exceed 20,000.
That's what we talked about at an executive, and Mr. Blasio, okay with that? And just so the public knows, if something happens beforehand, they can come back and have to make another process to go over that 20,000. Good.
Can I take a roll call?
Please.
Ms. Breon.
Yes.
Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Ms. Diarrigo.
Yes.
Mrs. Wells.
Yes.
Mayor Knoll.
Yes, please.
Resolution R16-133, resolution appointing part-time dispatcher.
I know Joe had said his name.
Ray DeRubio,
There you go. Ray DeRubio.
right?
Okay. Pull that one over.
I'll work for it. I'll
I'll
second.
second
Moved by Ms.
Take one.
Diarrigo, second by Ms. Wells. Ms. Breon.
Yes.
Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Ms. Diarrigo.
Yes.
Mrs. Wells.
Yes.
Mayor Knoll.
Yes, please.
Resolution R16-137, resolution appointing recreation summer seasonal.
I'll offer it, and Lori, I do want to say something. We had a lengthy discussion about reevaluating all of this, just so you know. I'll
Second by Mr. Hart. Ms. Breon.
Yes.
Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Ms. Diarrigo.
Yes.
Mrs. Wells.
I abstain.
Mayor Knoll.
Yes.
Resolution R16-139, resolution appointing open space committee members.
I'll offer Greg Wells.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Hart. Ms. Breon.
Yes.
Mr. Hart.
Yes.
Ms. Diarrigo.
Yes.
Mrs. Wells.
Yes.
Mayor Knoll.
Yes, please.
Resolution R16-140, resolution appointing recreation committee member.
We would like
That
to
is, that's on the table.
for 2 weeks, please.
2 weeks.
And And please make sure everybody knows and notices that they're
Well,
out
and
there.
honestly, in 2 weeks, if there's no citizen participation, then we don't have to put it back on.
Okay, so.
Right now, we don't.
Depending on applicants.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we have
Right now, I
applicants, put
believe-
it back, if we don't,
I believe the
keep
bucket,
advertising.
yeah, exactly, I believe the bucket is empty from the last grant.
well, it's dry.
All right, that's a motion by Mr.
I'll
Seconded
second.
by
I'll second.
Mayor Nolan. Ms. Breon.
Yes.
Mr. Clark.
Yes.
Ms. Diego.
Yes,
Mrs. Wells.
Yes,
Mayor Nolan.
Yes, please.
On for second reading and public hearing is ordinance 0-16-11, an ordinance amending chapter traffic code of the Borough of Highlands related to areas of no parking, one-way streets, stop sign intersections, street cleaning, through streets, permit parking in various locations throughout the borough. This may be open to a public hearing.
actually, I just have one question, may I ask the chief one question real quick?
I need to.
I just, only because I had a call while I was driving at 6:30, so I didn't get to go back and look at it. These are all changes we've already made, there's nothing new here, right? It's just updating our books.
It's just that it's updated, it's not adding anything new, it's just updating the reports to reflect what we already have.
That's what I thought, because the resident was on, I want to say, Woodland and up on that road, and they were like, you're not changing the parking on my street. I said, I don't think so, I think this is just solidifying everything we've done in the past, because it is one way already. And they were
Yeah.
making sure,
The only change in Woodland was, believe it or not, is when we made the ordinance, it, I guess wasn't called Woodland yet. It
Okay.
was still called Willow Street.
that's what I told her, but I just wanted to confirm with you,
Yeah,
so
so
I
the
didn't have time to
parking
call
was
you
there, the same, just
before I got
fixing
here.
the.
Okay. She thought she had to put in a new driveway. I told her I don't really think so. So we'll let you know.
Okay, so we're over the public hearing. Questions on 16-11?
Yes, I have a question. Barbara, I did change 28 Shakespeare Avenue. I noticed you have the street cleaning schedule here. Is that effective immediately, or are we still on funny schedule? So people know when to move and not move. On the last page.
Well, I know we have the schedule done.
Yeah.
I have to point to you because
We
you're
don't have,
listening to it.
we don't have a schedule set at this point in time. We really don't, and I can't offer a schedule at this point in time. I don't know who's officially trained on a street sweeper. And again, public patients here, we have the new EA, he's coming on board. We want to work with them, so.
That'll be part of the conversation.
Yeah, it was.
What's the street view?
Yeah,
So
so a combination of everything, we are going to, with the street sweeping, we're going to try to make sure that these contractors use their street sweeper, not ours. So we're not,
That was helpful.
yeah, so, but, it's a good question, but unfortunately I just don't have the answer. But, hopefully by next week we will.
And by the time we do make a formal schedule, we'll roll it out before we start. We don't get everybody jammed up.
Barb, you can feel free to keep on about making sure it's on the next agenda.
I will stay on.
You don't always have to wait till tonight, right?
Good. Save us.
Kim's Corker Short Drive, just to speak on the street cleaning schedule, I noticed that it's now every Friday. The sign in front of my condo says the last Friday of the month, so we may want to take a peek at the
Be
signage
consistent
as
either
well.
way, basically.
We're, I can, we're aware, aside from just fixing the ordinances, we need numerous signs fixed. The reason we changed that in the ordinance was, believe it or not, it was in there twice. It was in there once for every other Friday, it was in there once every Friday both. So, I think we are
And my
gonna need,
sign said that last Friday of
Yeah, yeah, probably nothing consistent, so that's
we
why
are
we're
gonna need a lot of signs to go forward with these ordinances.
Right, what I'll do is I'll get with you with the street sweeper, when we get this, to setting this schedule, so that the officers are aware and if we can do some kind of notice, notification.
And obviously just make sure the sign.
Yeah, and
Well,
signs
what we're
are
gonna have to do too is really an inventory of the signs in town. I don't think we've done it post Sandy.
Well, we have,
We've done some, but I don't know if
But I don't know how it's done. Okay,
Chief, have we been looking at like what Tim's talking about, like it says every, in other words, we gotta look at the signs and compare the ordinances.
yes, we did, I had a
Okay,
traffic officer take a look at the ordinances, as well as, signs that are missing since Sandy. We have a pretty extensive list, but we have to prioritize, I think.
can you share that with the council at some point, like in email or something?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect. Sooner the better, if you can, please.
Hi, Tina Pemmer, 164 Linden Avenue. I just wanted to add to that. particularly around the schools. I know Highlands Elementary School on Linden Ave, there's a couple of signs that are completely faded. I have no clue what they say, but cars are parking up on the curb and everything. I'm sure they've got to say something, and they're
They don't say park here anytime, basically.
is that maybe that's what they say.
I haven't seen
Now
that.
they do. But if you are going to upgrade and replace signs, if we could pay
We've
particular
definitely had some
attention
meetings,
on
I know
schools
some
and
of the
things
people in
like
this room have been involved in them with special attention to the school. I will tell you that, that's kind of already happened.
that. Okay, great.
Should I close the public portion?
On for final reading and adoption is ordinance 01611, an ordinance amending chapter 7 traffic of the code of the Borough of Highlands related to areas of no parking, one-way streets, stop sign intersections, street cleaning, through streets, and permit parking in various locations throughout the borough.
I'll offer it.
Offered by Mayor Knoll.
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Card. Ms. Breon.
Yes.
Mr. Card.
Yes.
Ms. DeRigo.
Yes.
Mrs. Wells.
Yes.
Mayor Knoll.
Yes.
Existing committee reports.
Mr. Fazio, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, like, we constantly review our debt service, and we always look for ways of refinancing debt. I'm gonna report back in March that we refunded the debt issue back then. So now we have another potential coming up here, so I've been in touch with the Monmouth County Improvement Authority and our bonding attorney. We do have shared debt service with the Landing Highlands, and that came up from the dissolution that we had several years ago. So we do have a small piece available, it's $800,000 that we could refund. The savings is about $42,000 split between two towns. I fully expect an ordinance to be coming this way. I've been in touch with the borough attorney. Hopefully next meeting or the meeting after. So it's a little bit of savings coming.
Anything else, sir? We good? Public safety?
I do not have a report for tonight because we just got our new CAD system in for the police department. We've been familiarizing ourselves with that and trying to get some bugs worked out.
Joe, can you explain in layman's terms to the public what that is?
I may have to call in somebody from IT. I don't know if I can. Basically, the CAD stands for computer-aided dispatch. So all of our, aside from the CAD, we have a record system, which is part of it, which will enable us to search and find reports, incidents, it'll help with statistics also with our UCRs. Dispatch itself is changed. We can do a lot more with it. We can link our computer system from the state, from motor vehicle to our calls.
That's up to an aspect.
Yeah, so it's all linked together, so we don't have to keep filling out the same form for, multiple times for the same incident. The search capabilities will be much better. And,
Well, you have the ability now to identify an issue, meaning a person sooner. If they're on record and it's not something.
People, vehicles.
Right, so if you have a potential, quote unquote bad person there, you can identify it quickly.
That it just helps us link a lot of
Sure.
a lot of things together, and it's going to be a huge help. It really is. That's the best I can play.
That sounds great, sir. Thank you. I just want everybody to know what we're talking about. Cliff, do you have anything else for the fire?
Just the fire department had 15 total calls. It's a very short report because of the holiday, and first aid did not submit one, again, because of the holiday, so we got a little behind the eight ball there.
If it was bad news, we probably would have a report, right?
Sure.
Just to add to the fire department too, our marine unit is in service. They got that in service, before the weekend.
So that
Yeah, so that's a good thing, because we do answer a lot of marine calls.
okay, good. Board of Education.
I don't have much to report, other than we are still working. I did get an email today from Rob Burton, Officer Burton there. We are working with T&M, as we discussed, for the Safe Ways to School grants. That will increase the signage on the Linden Avenue route, so hopefully we can get that taken care of through a grant. And basically what I'll be doing is setting up a meeting with Mr. Burton and the school officials, so we can kind of get a plan together, and then we'll need a resolution that the council endorses to let us move forward with the grant. But we've already had that initial kind of touch with T&M to say, okay, let's move forward. This is something we think we'd like to try to do. That way we can get some mechanisms in place to make it really a safer way for the kids to go to school. More signage for the speed limits and all that kind of good stuff. So captain, we'll be meeting with, which we get, I guess, Ms. Schultz, Ms. Compton, or who we met with the first time.
Sure, whoever committee.
Yeah, okay. Okay, and then we'll be working with T&M to make sure that grant is due by the 29th of June, so it has to be a little aggressive too.
So again,
So definitely there'll be a resolution at the next
next
meeting,
meeting, right?
and all the verbiage will be put together for that.
Okay, thank you. Highlands Business Partnership, I know we have a report.
We have a report, Carla's not feeling well this evening, so I will be concise. 16th annual craft show was this last Sunday, the 29th of March. We had over 50 vendors, and tickets went on sale for the Cayman Highlands getaway for two. It was a great success. So get out and find some police explorers and go buy your tickets. On May 21st, we had a memorial and dedication to Councilwoman Tara Ryan, who was a longtime member, lifetime member, I should say, and a great advocate for our community. And we had two little libraries, one in front of the community center here and another one over at Betts Park with two benches. The 5th annual Taste of Highlands will take place on June 25th from 12 to 5. Tickets are $40 per person and are available online at highlandsnj.com for the day of the event at the C Street parking lot at 2 p.m. What else is going on? Clam Fest. Ride Link bracelets are on sale for $20 a piece. Bracelets are $30 at purchase at the festival. Bracelets are good on August 4th and August 7th. Special announcements. The ribbon cutting is going to be there for Unique Yoga on Saturday, June 4th at noon. The Inlet Cafe is having their 50th anniversary on Sunday, June 5th at noon. There will be free barbecue, live entertainment, and children's activities. It is raining. The rain date is June 12th. Sandy Hook Bay Marina ribbon cutting is scheduled for Sunday, July 26th at 11:30 a.m. Sorry, June 26th. And then Barks on Bay ribbon cutting is Sunday, July 17th at noon. So lots of ribbon cuttings, lots of things over there.
The only other thing I would hit on the C Street when they stop there is a free concert, 4 to 9 p.m.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That's on the 25th.
The Moroccan Sugar,
Moroccan Sugar.
20th anniversary celebration. 4 to 9. Okay, grant writing?
Well, Becky already touched on the Safe Road to Schools. Something that wasn't really mentioned during the last council meeting is that we did get a Clean Communities grant for over $15,000, which is going to be used in town to help out with litter control.
I think we used that already.
Yeah.
Paying the bills.
Nice. And there's also, which is going to be going into the CPG, that we're going to be talking about recommendations of local business. So I'll stop there.
Okay.
Only to continue with communications.
Please.
With the, it says recommendations, but it's really just an update. The RFP went out to web designers today and is out on the borough website for a revised borough website. So we should hopefully start seeing responses to that RFP soon.
Okay, thanks. I'm going to expect you to talk about the rec department.
And I only, and I guess this is something moving forward, Mary, with VA. I don't know if he's gonna be doing as many reports as Tim did. Because Tim used to kind of fold these all in.
Right.
So I don't know if he'll be doing them separately or if we want Brian to.
Well, I think the grant writing becomes bigger after we have these people on board and they're a little longer and attacking some of the things we talked about. Communications committee is probably something that's evolving. There will be more, a lot of months.
I just don't know if we need to add more to the agenda to do it under records, or something that would go under.
I think the rec
Doesn't
department
really matter.
is.
Yeah.
I do too, because I think at some point we've already talked about rec directive.
Right.
So might as well just have that separately and we'll take it up as council until somebody's in place and at that point they're there.
Okay. Basically, I just want to go through a few things. Obviously, the Summer Kid Fest registration is ongoing. Friday, we will be hosting, the rec committee will be hosting their first annual bonfire, which is actually coming along nicely other than the weather report. So as long as it stays dry, I think we'll be okay. We were lucky enough to have Valerie Montecavo offer to donate the wood that's needed, because we were trying to find wood that wasn't treated with anything, and she said, well, let me, help and just get a quota wood for you guys, so that was awesome. She's done that. The PBA is going to be doing hamburgers, hot dogs. Val from the Waterwood shop is going to have a cold brew. The Sandy Foot Society is going to be painting beach shells on the beach. The Boy Scouts will be assisting with giving out the ingredients for the s'mores, and then the firemen and other volunteers will help them go ahead and do it. And there'll be some entertainment up on the deck, which are a couple little musicians that Val set up. So I think it's a great way to come out and meet the neighbors, and I think as long as the weather holds up, I think it'll be a good day. There is no rain date, so just look for the Facebook, look for the website. What we'll do basically is try to reschedule it probably towards the end of the summer, because once the weekends start, you get into who's got prom, who's got this, what school's going where, and then it's graduations, and conflicts just kept adding up. So we'll find an appropriate date to schedule if we need to. High school team night, they're scheduled for grades 9 through 12 on the 24th, Friday from 7 to 9:30 here in this room. Same thing for middle school night, it's Friday, June 10th. Lifeguard positions are still available. We kind of are consistently just extending our notice looking for lifeguards. To date, we probably have the potential of 5. Regarding everybody gets the paperwork in and passes their classes, so it's more than we've had in the past. So hopefully we'll be able to get our beaches guarded. And an Italian ice social will be held by the Bayshore Family Success Center on Thursday, June 2nd. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow. Sorry.
Make sure you're there.
Make sure you're there at 6 o'clock. Other than that, that's pretty much it. There's just a lot going on.
The only I would say to the point of getting our numbers straight for the kids program, normally we average, I believe, 130. There's 13 registered right now. I don't know if that's normal, and you get 100 people registered next week, historically. Just so make sure anyone you talk to that plans on sending their children here, obviously just get them registered so we know what we're talking about as far as 100 people. But there's 13 right now. Now, there might be 30, again, maybe 100 people registered the last week, I don't know. Okay. Next.
Mayor's appointments to planning board.
Can we do that at the next meeting? I have one other conversation we have tomorrow, please. But we'll have that at the next meeting.
CDBG grant application.
Okay, I know we all got records, we all got asked by Dale, right? What our opinion was. I know we did that at the last meeting too, and I know we sent some stuff back and forth. What do we want to do? What's the pleasure of the majority of the council?
How about the sewer pipe
Fix
fix?
I was gonna say, we need to fix the sewer.
Sewer
with those sinkholes going on.
Or the sinkhole, what we talking about, right?
The sinkhole, right? We're all talking the
Really,
same
that
thing.
sinkhole?
Yeah,
Everybody-
it's pretty sinkhole.
Did anybody, was a formal offer?
I'll offer that.
I'll second it.
I just want to, before.
Go ahead.
Offered by Mr. President, Ms. Wells.
Got it in there.
Go
Got it.
for it.
Yes.
Go for it.
Ms. Maria?
Yes.
Mr. Card?
Yes.
Ms. Dioriga?
Yes.
Mrs. Wells?
Yes.
Mayor Noel?
Yes, please.
Everybody, I just want to, Valley Street, we did have a sinkhole, I know Chief is aware of it. It's a sinkhole, it's big enough to put all of us in it, and it's surprisingly alarming. We don't know what's happening up there. Thank God it's on a dead-end street, but it's an issue we're going to be, every day I'm getting phone calls from Dales and sinkholes. It's a working for us, it's a tough sale, but
I know we all talked about it, but I just
we
want to make sure.
gotta do something about our sewers. It's killing us.
I would agree with that. Okay.
Okay, review cost estimate for Shore Drive.
I think this also stems right from the last meeting.
Yes.
We talked about it when the gentleman was here.
About 7,000.
Would anybody like to have a conversation about that? Doug, you want to start? I mean, it's something out.
The 7,000 is for the entire fleet.
Correct.
Correct.
Just clarify.
Yeah, mobile strips, I think we need to let them run a little bit longer, see how they go, maybe they wear out a little bit. But Chief on spot, why don't we put a police car down there and start taking some of the people are speeding. You know, maybe when you start seeing some police officers with lights on down there, maybe by domino effect, people start driving fast down the street.
Well, can I ask a question too? Do we, I know we talked about this at the school, Rob, and I apologize, I don't remember the end of the conversation. Do we have any more than equipment left that tells you how fast you're going? Because normally, like I say,
We
I
just
drive a lot.
ordered, we're getting one working.
What's the turnaround, any idea?
It should be soon, we just had to order a battery for
Why don't we put that down there?
We're going with
Because
the
I
battery.
don't want to, instead of utilizing a person down there, you know what I mean? Why don't we put the, hey, your speed is whatever? Because I'll tell you right now, I drive 72 miles one way every day, and there are people that see them. Even more so than they see an officer. Sometimes they can also see somebody else. They stop the light because they actually think they're recording you. And you're recording their license and everything else, so they stop.
Yeah, you just hold
Well, listen, if that makes it out over there, we got a whole other thing. We're going to start selling the rights to these.
Can I ask how long, this is Teresa, I live on Shore Drive.
Oh, there you go.
I'm in right in front of them, so they are very loud, yes,
Yeah.
my husband was here last night.
Yes,
Right.
and you talked to him.
He's home from surgery, so
Okay, so
I'm
hope
actually
everything's okay. Last time we did it, he had said you guys didn't live there then, and they did wear down over time.
Right,
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know how fast it was.
now it's like, there's no speed limit on that road regardless. So those speed strips haven't even done anything, they just now only create noise. And so that's what we're
From about
rumbling
5:30
from
on,
both
right?
sides, from one side to the other side, even when doors closed. So they're not,
So
and
that's,
some,
and then they know the effect of it. And they don't
there's
care.
no effect, there could be a police officer down the street, they see one stops, before they could be hidden around the corner, because I watch it going on. They'll come around the corner, they stop, and then the police officer will get the one, and then the whole slew from the ferry come out, and then you just.
I think
run
we do
them
a combination draw at the hot times, obviously 5:30 in the morning, I see them all running down there to get there. And then the next, whatever time the next ferry launches, I'm not here to see that.
That would be bad.
Quite a good amount of tickets down there, but like she says, they get a ticket, after that, they don't care.
They don't care.
Well, they don't live here, so, but the other side,
I would like to add, just for historical value, we did at one point take rumble strips out on the Shore Drive by Shore and Atlantic, Shore and Attack Towers, and I think somewhere down here
you remember why, Joe?
because of noise.
That's right.
I mean, my house used to shake from it, literally.
Okay.
And this had to be 20 years ago, maybe.
Now, didn't we not put a speed bump there because of emergency services? Or am I wrong? Wasn't that a conversation about 5 years ago?
I think so.
Because remember when we had the gentleman up on the hill behind the school? And we never had another conversation again once we put those speed bumps in on either side? We
Yes,
never had a conversation.
but the odd part,
About speeding up there, I'm saying.
yeah, the odd part about the Highland Avenue one is we did several studies up there, speed signs. We can turn them on and off so you don't see them
Understood, yeah.
recording. They weren't speeding there anyway. That was a perception.
But you know the reality is though, they believe the people there that live there, that kids there, that they slowed everybody down. They never, I mean, no one's ever come back to me since then.
Oh, no.
You know what
No,
I mean?
but like I said, the data from before that showed that people
Yeah.
weren't speeding anyway.
Do we all agree though that they're probably speeding on Shore Drive?
Yes.
Oh, there's times.
So why, does anyone know a reason, I'm asking, obviously you, Becky, with the, you know, and Rob, that are in this field professionally, do we have any reason we can't put speed bump in down there?
Well, it's interesting. I just had a.
Because I would do it on this side of Shore Drive.
I just had a conversation with our new administrator who did traffic for a larger town. And he talked about some studies and so forth that say, depending on location, they actually decrease also.
I would do a succession, that's how you slow it down. I would do 2 or 3 over that whole strip from Shore and Waterridge to Ferry entrance, personally, that's what I would do. Because as soon as they bottom out in one of those cars, they'll slow down. Listen, I'm the guy in the other room, you come in and pay me $2 grand to fix it. So trust me when I tell
Yeah,
you.
but I'll be honest with you, I know a lot of the commuters buy what I would call a meter card too.
Yeah.
They buy a piece of junk just to take down, you know.
I would,
There's not so many pieces of junk.
No, they're
anymore.
not.
I'll take a few of those jumps.
And right now, the rumble strips that are there, they're in succession, so there's 3.
But they're not really slowing down because they don't care.
Nothing, now I just know.
You hear boom in the car.
No, constant.
But in the car, you hear.
And they come from the other side. And that isn't what doors
They're
close.
right before C Street, but then they're like further way down, which I don't understand why they're
They're-
so far down on Shore Drive when
That's exactly what we are.
they're not up this
I think
end
we
of Shore
should start
Drive.
doing the sign
Where's
and
that
the
at?
speed bumps.
No, they are.
I would agree with
There's only
that.
one
I would
side,
also
right
agree
in front of
with
your house.
moving the speed, the homeless.
One and two.
It's not
Yeah,
different.
rather
They're
than-
So
not
if you're,
gonna-
so.
Oh, yeah, that's my point.
That's what my, our question is, we gotta make sure we don't jeopardize the money that we receive from the state, and this is where patients can have bridge, they did pay that for
What do you
us.
guys make the shit with that?
Yeah, they'll just.
Issue some grinders.
It's good, whatever it is, yeah.
But we just gotta be careful, we don't wanna jeopardize them saying, oh, you took them out, now we're taking the money back. So, but I would explore, I'll Q&A Dale on that, and find out what we can do, so we don't get ourselves in trouble. But I do agree with Mary.
It's gonna cost us.
The sign and with the bumps.
I would say like 3 cameras, and that.
How long does it take to write a ticket?
Pretty long. It takes a good,
You have to pull over right in front of the entrance to C Street, maybe hold up a whole school.
Oh, yeah.
and then we're gonna risk,
I know.
Yeah.
I think that the main thing is I don't want to collect $1, I just want to slow
Yeah.
down.
Yes, you're
They
right.
leave their cars, they play.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know what I-
It's a code.
You know what I mean? No, I don't want to collect $1, I just want to slow down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that I think if you put 10 police officers down there, the minute you call them away from something else, they'll start to be. I
That's
think if you make it hard to do, people will stop doing it.
through the years, like I said, we've issued a lot of tickets. We've done blitzes. It'll slow them down for
From your professional
days.
opinion, what about speed bumps?
Well, I have to look into it a little bit more, because we looked into them in the past.
I know someone said a reason why we couldn't go forward, and I don't remember why or.
Well,
I thought it was the fire truck.
I don't know, fire enforcement, they're largely against that too.
I agree, that's what I'm saying, maybe something's changed, yeah, yeah.
But on the other hand, with the speed bumps, we may need data. I don't know, I mean, the data we have doesn't support speed bumps. We know some people speed. On the other hand, we
The
have
data on
data,
Shore Drive won't support it?
as far as accidents go, no.
Oh, they're not worried about speed, they're worried about accidents.
Well,
Or a combination.
I'm gonna have to do some more, I did research years ago, but I'm gonna have to do it again.
Could you let us know, Chief?
Yeah, but as far as accidents go, we have no accidents down there.
Thank God, I mean, but not forbid.
Not that we're gonna wait for that, but, I would like some time to do it, so put the sign up, the speed signs up. And then my next question, just related, I don't know
Yeah,
if it's coming up, I believe C Street bought doors and heads.
they did.
Does anybody know, I heard a rumor,
That-
getting a boat?
I heard the same thing with the parking lot.
C Street's built 2 new boats. They started building them almost a year and a half ago. Big boats, real big boats.
Bigger V's,
Yes.
Yes,
Very
so they add more vehicles.
Yeah, they wanna carry more volume on per trail.
and we wanted to put 1,000, but we wanted to slow down on that and get something, you know, strategy. We want to be successful.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
that.
let Ms. Dibble go first, she had her hand up.
What about speed cameras?
We talked about that too. Yeah. We talked about, I don't think, my opinion is you're gonna have to do a couple things to get it slowed down. And then once you got it slowed down, you might be able to pull away one or those things or so. But I would put the sign, if you can, again, the speed bumps, and have a little heavier presence down in the beginning.
Is there a way too, we can, you know, similar like you go to Wind and Sea, right? And every time you turn around, you say, Highlands is our neighbor, can we respect them? Can we do this? Is there any way we can talk to C Street and ask them to make an announcement that we're going to be cracking down on
We
it?
definitely can.
That, you know, hey, we're gonna start cracking down, these speed limits need to be abided by, and, you know, we're partners in this, you know, you're sitting here, so
And we'll go right around the room, I promise.
why
It's
not
good.
ask them?
As far as Ruben, not for sure, but the Dartsinger's property, I did hear about them going possibly to put a pier to put their boats, not to put for people to go out. Reason being is they can only gas up in Highlands, not in Atlantic Highlands. So every night that boat has to go to Atlantic Highlands and then come all the way back. So for them, if every night we see
Think
that
about how much
gas
that is over a year.
with no one in it,
You
they
get
just
fuel.
wanna come here, dock the boat there.
And we get that from the horse's mouth, and one of the key players involved said it's not really a done deal, but it is. So, whatever that means, good.
Are we discussing this now?
Discuss anything you want.
Okay, because I don't, okay, never mind.
We'll go back to public too, sorry.
Okay, I have a few questions about the C Street parking lot at Doris and Ed's. Did they have to go through a permitting process with the planning board or CAFRA? Because a parking lot is a
Let me stop you right there, Ms. Dibble, I won't cut you off, but it's officially not even a done deal yet,
Well, they
that's
have
what I'm
to sign
saying.
that.
Well, it's supposed to pay.
I get all that, but I get that it's,
They sent
I'll
an
tell you, one of the
announcement
main
out
players
to
called us the other night.
They sent an announcement out to
They
the
put it on the website, and sent out an email, I got it, so.
Yeah, so, shouldn't there be some sort of processing they have to go through?
Yes.
And also that shoreline is not bulkheaded, and it is a protected part of the shoreline because it's not bulkheaded, and you can't actually build anything there. They're not, or at least CAFRA said they weren't going to be allowing any additional bulkheading in that zone, because that's an important part of the whole ecosystem there. And it's flounder spawning ground or something like that, and that's part of the reason that they couldn't expand the marina at next into that area.
So the long and short of it is we're sending ours, we talked about this as a council, sending our zoning officer down.
And let's face the fact, C Street makes a living using water. I'm sure they're aware of any cap, but they just purchased a product. Let's give them a fair handshake here. Maybe they've done that already. Give them a chance to come to the table. This is what we're proposing. We don't know yet. The ink's not even dry yet, but we will do what Frank.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
said.
Yeah.
Let's
I
see
would,
what they're doing.
yeah, I would say that, and it sounds crazy, but nobody's broken the process yet. They've said they're going to, there's no question. I got the email, like I said. But our intention, we talked about this last week, was to send our zoning officer down. I think we all probably got an email at the same time for our private emails.
Make sure nothing else is, it's gonna be about book.
Nothing is awry. Might be a good opportunity to talk about that, sure, about 20 years ago. Maybe you
I
have,
just wanted
sorry.
to go back to my normal script. I'm
Sure.
sorry, because that's, that's in front of me. Is there an immediate fix that we can do to the noise?
I'd say immediately no, unfortunately, I don't want to lie to you, but I think we need to study to fix the problem first, also at the same time, we're in parallel. But I know that Dale talked about ways to lessen the noise also, and I don't remember, it was 2 weeks ago, but as we go forward, grinding them down basically, but he had it exactly what he did it, because he did it in another town. And then, the chief obviously went back to us on the possibility of the speed bumps, because that'll solve the real problem. Not that the noise isn't, but I think the speed's more of a problem, and then hopefully we get more. So that would be the plan as a council.
Are you gonna ask them to do the announcement?
Yeah, we can do that too, we'll make that part of it, because what happened was, to Becky's point, when we had issues, more so than we do now, I believe, but we had a lot of, quality of life impact issues with one of the restaurants in town, when they had big events and everything. So they actually posted signs and started telling people, hey, when you go out, our neighbors are sleeping, please don't scream and yell, quiet down inside. We actually started staging down people leaving the place and everything else, so we do the same thing.
And from someone that lives down there, it was very successful.
That's what I was gonna say.
The education of the, hey, respect our neighbors kind of thing, worked. And like Becky said, maybe we can get C Street to put signs up and educate.
It's a good idea.
With regards again with the rumble strips and short drive and speed, more speed limit signs I think would help. I think there's only one that you see between C Street and Short Drive is when you're coming out. It's heading from C Street to Waterwich. And recently I drove up to Hartshorn, up Portland Road. Somebody has taken their maybe 8.5 by 11-ish yellow signs, speed limit 25. They are zip tied to just about every single sign on that road. If you don't know the speed limit's 25, you're looking at your cell phone.
You're lying.
So
So
you say these are homemade signs?
they're not like homemade, but somebody obviously got them in a print shop. They look like they're the corrugated plastic.
We put a little more
They're not officially
Oh.
But it just means they're not police department borough.
They're not official borough signs. Please leave
You're
them
not,
out.
you're not breaking them out down there, Joe?
They're not official, but it's right there
But
and
it might
it's
be effective.
in your face
Right.
and would be effective.
Okay.
And then also, I'm pretty sure it's Grant Avenue in town that has the speed bumps for probably a good mile on
Right.
the road. They're intermittent, And I understand the issue with the speed bumps, because how many of us go, slow down, we go over the speed bump, and then we step on the gas to get going
Right,
again?
but to your point, you
And
got a
that's
succession of them.
what the issue is.
You got a succession of them.
So a succession of them, and, you know, if we're gonna do speed bumps, we might wanna consider the other part of Shore Drive too.
I'm not saying we can't, I
Right.
agree with you, but people have to phase it in.
Right.
As you
But yeah, those, you can't step on the gas and go faster, because they are so close together that as soon as you get up
Exactly.
to 25, 30, you're hitting the next
And
one.
I know streets that you're talking about.
And it's right from the school residential area
Yep.
where it's very much needed.
I think it's gonna be minimal cost, and it's gonna be very effective.
Right. I'm also curious if we can do, as Lori suggested, a speed camera. Like,
Yeah.
like they have them on Long Island in school zones. They take a picture of your license plate and get a ticket in the mail.
They have them all over the country now, on the highways and everything,
Right.
you don't even know. who's
I've
gonna
seen
take
them on the
it.
highways, you know, just recently heard about them in Long Island on
Yep.
residential areas.
Yep.
So depending on what they cost, it might be worth it. And then when we stop everybody, we get everybody slow down here, we move to the other side of Shore
I agree, I agree.
Drive. So get them over there.
Okay. Number 4 is a cost estimate for North Street Bridge project extension.
I spoke to Dale about this before the meeting,
Please.
because, just for, came up with the construction cost of about, this is for North Street, behind where the borough offices are, and Second Street, and if we want to include Spring Street. So anybody, if you've ever gone to the recycling yard, you know how horrible those roads are, they're completely torn apart. But Dale came up with this estimate that if we did all 3 of those streets, it'd be about $650,000. But an immediate line item that came to my eye was this $183,000 for a 3-foot retaining wall around the DPW yard, which is me, I feel no way. And it's entire, and he did agree. He said it was, something that he would put in there and it can't come out, and he said a lot of these items.
Okay.
So if that's the case, instead of $650,000, we could more so be looking at around $375,000.
With all that
Depending on
coming in,
how
right.
what we think and choose to do. So
Okay.
I think this needs to get looked at further, and I think that one, and again, this is the T&M estimate, it's not necessarily going to be close to what, it could be plus or minus whatever the actual contractors come in at, but as a guesstimate, I think we're more looking around
I
$400,000.
think you have to do something, it's atrocious.
The only thing, and I agree too, I think we have to do something, but we also have to be mindful of what, and I'll defer this to Doug, what we're doing with the DPW, like we're saying.
Exactly. So I don't want to
Because you
invest
don't wanna
almost
get, you don't wanna end up
$200,000
having
in
to tear
routine.
things up.
Especially if we
Gas
relocate
tanks
to the
back
site
in, or
that's-
we're relocating somewhere that.
That might have parking.
Yeah, that Dale report, I'm not happy with it in any capacity. The RFP should go out simple, 2-inch base recode, middle recode, all the secondary, and we got a lot more to
I
do.
know.
I almost had a heart attack when I saw that.
I think we just didn't wanna not fall into the road on Spring Street.
But to Becky's point and Frank's point, we are re-examining our space down there. I mean, it's a horrible situation, built-in speed bumps. It's too bad,
Yeah.
but we need, we don't want to throw good money after something we may be restructuring, especially with the potential redevelopment of that M&R building, stuff like that, and that whole back area, so. Just drive cautiously back there right now, some patience would be welcomed. Community is not a main road, so, but I do see a plea of some business owners that do have their storage back there.
Especially since we know sometimes that happen with the current program.
Yeah.
So, that's not a good conversation.
I mean, the thing is, it's funny because it's such an underutilized road, and every one of us uses it to get things like
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm
There's
saying.
not one of us that don't travel, we all travel that road to get to drop off our
They don't want
recyclables
to
or our
car
bulk.
driving, because I don't take the Prius on those roads.
Right.
I get swallowed up. So it makes it a short drive.
So, I mean, it's one of those things, it's underutilized yet it's very utilized by all of us. It's just not.
Okay, so I think that we should obviously keep that in consideration, we know it's probably gonna be 30% less, 40% less.
I imagine,
With
even
all
if it's
said
more than
and
that,
done,
when you look at some of these line
less.
items,
50% less. Not too for, not a big one.
yeah, I'm helping you.
You commence the meetings, and then I guess we'll get an idea what's coming as these projects evolve, the borough hall and the potential M&R involvement.
Is this, did you mention the water line for the temporary, the trailers up there? Are we talking about that or something totally different?
No, Dale didn't have all the firm members yet for the water and sewer for the.
We're talking all the streets.
We're talking about actually paving those streets, there's 3 streets.
Okay,
Second spring and
300 or 400 being the number.
No.
I don't think that would have
Not
talked
at
about
all.
a second time.
Not at all.
Other questions?
Let's open public portion, we'll start over here. Anybody have any? Please.
Dr. Basinger at 12 Mill Street. We have 5 possible lifeguards. How many more are we looking to get? I mean, do we need 3? Do we need 10?
When we had previous discussions, I believe Mr. Hill had said to run an effective program would probably be 8 to 10, probably 7 you could.
I remember 9, yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
8 to 10 would cover the beaches, in fact, all of the beaches, Tipper, I'm just picking one or the other, and, you know.
A wish list was 9, and the conversation was that it was gonna cover, obviously, the majority of the days that we wanted. It was gonna go at one point from Memorial Day to Labor Day, and obviously got benchmarks down by the wayside, but that's why the number was 9. As we get deeper into the summer, and there's other things, it may be 5, maybe 6,
And if we get to that 5 number, then that means this beach will be done
yes.
with all ships.
Right, then we can at least post that we have one beach prior to the 9. Anybody else on the side, please?
Tina Hammer, 164 Linden Avenue. I have a question. The trap and release program. So when that was discussed, there was an email to contact. So I did, and that was about a month ago. I've got no reply. Are they busy? Is there nobody that answers? Because we have kind of a feral hotspot in our neighborhood. So
I would agree with you.
Mom.
Right.
You agree with me in what?
No, I agree with her that we have a feral hotspot.
Oh, no, absolutely.
yeah. So I was just
started-
ready to say that.
Monmouth County started trapping on Tuesday evening and today, so they've gotten their first 10 or 15 from those first 2 days. And what we're doing is we're working with all of the old colony managers, getting them re-signed up with some of the paperwork, having them categorize all of the cats that they know about, all of the cats that they know that they don't feed or have otherwise already trapped and neutered. I've also given the county a list of everyone's sent me in, it's like has been sending 40 emails to me saying, here's a hotspot, here's a hotspot, here's a hotspot, and so I've just been sending that all to the county. Did you send something to the Gmail, something?
Yeah, whatever the I can't recall.
That's
but whatever
fine.
the
It's probably like
email
Highlands
address
TNR
was.
Gmail, something very.
I think it was a Gmail. And I noted where it was and what the issue was, but then I never got a reply back, assuming
I'll make sure
they're
that
very
they reply.
busy, but I don't know, because I did try to contact a couple of years ago and nothing happened, so it would be great if there was, if I just knew.
No problem, I'll make sure we get something back. The county also said that they're going to be in, they're going to try to be in at least once a week, setting up different traps in different spots.
Okay.
All of the hot spots that were mentioned during that meeting.
Right.
And through
Right.
any emails that I get from any of the colony managers or anybody else that is part of that review.
And that's really just gearing up right now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I'm sure you'll see some activities.
Okay.
Name and address?
Maureen, 165 Sun Harbor. Back to the lifeguards. Do we have, you had spoken last time that we were gonna maybe go out and, I guess, purchase lifeguards?
Well, use a service, I think we talked about.
Service. And, is there any update on that? And then if you have 5 in the works, as you're saying, you might be going to schooling or whatever, how long until we'll actually have lifeguards? Like, what are you talking? End of May?
Well, the end
I
of
mean,
June, 2 are in June, going to the end of June. So
Yes.
I'm thinking July.
July, yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
So
July 4th.
2 of them are in school to the end of June, so we're probably looking at this point the first weekend in July. And like Carolyn said, if we have 5, we're gonna man this one, or woman it, whatever, have the manpower here all the time and maybe not have anything happen the other beach.
And both Scott and I contacted some services, and I spoke to Tim about it. He was really not on board doing that. He was more wanting to see how the courses went and how the applications were coming in.
Who was not on board?
Tim.
he, at
Okay,
maybe
but
at that time, we
at
spoke
that
in our
point-
recreation committee meeting, he was fine with the services, but he hadn't been providing any, I didn't mention RFP.
He's not here right
Because,
now.
you know,
Well,
I mean-
well, it
which
doesn't
is
matter,
fine,
it's not
I mean,
very
if we wanna go
important.
out and put it out for RFP, we have to decide how much money are we willing to put
I
in.
mean, because the time is ticking, and I know this was something that many of you up there said you were gonna have, and I, wanna make sure it's gonna happen if that's the case. If not, then let us know that too.
And I know that a lot of people that don't sit up here did a lot of work to try to draw people in as far as flyers, phone
It's very
calls,
different, I understand.
emails, Facebook, you name it. And I was shocked about having, and I had people approach me at different events all the way back in March saying they had one or two nephews, nieces, whatever, and they were gonna come down. We never saw anything.
I mean, that,
So it's
like,
frustrating.
that's something too now, I mean, if you wanna move forward with the RFP, Claudette can work with Kim Gonzalez and get it out.
I think
Just
it's
say-
something
because
that-
everybody I looked at from that perspective, the service perspective, was more of a pool, it didn't have the open water, it's more of.
I just think you need to make a
Get open
decision
water very
either
quickly.
way, one way either you're gonna do it or you're not. And either you're gonna say, we're not gonna have lifeguards, or let's.
Especially going forward,
You know,
there's no question.
Because people are kind of thinking, there was such a thing that we were having lifeguards, we were having lifeguards, safety of the town, we had to have the lifeguards. Now they're coming and people are saying, there's no lifeguards.
Well,
And hopefully, obviously, we have those 5 in place on the first weekend of July.
And moving forward, when we hire recreation staff, then perhaps they need to be certified lifeguards.
Oh, you
Well,
want to
they
talk
are
about that
most of
too.
them, but they will be sitting on the beach if they're sitting here in the
Well,
Yeah,
but they'll be at least able to access the beach with the programs.
Well, they have to with the
And
program,
leave-
but that doesn't have
and leave
anything to
people.
do with the public beach part. That's too much.
But it could be, that's the
Yeah, it
point.
could be, yeah.
And that's why we talked about knowing when we have capacity of people here.
Okay, so at the next meeting,
We'll know more, obviously.
will you have an answer of whether we'll have the guards or not?
they'll still be in school June 15th, they're not graduating till the end of June.
But will it be enough for you to say for sure by July 1st there will be lifeguards?
We have to defer.
I mean, if you know that they're gonna finish it and you have them basically in line, then you know how many you have, you should know within a week, or not. I mean, I think we need to have a little bit
Two
more.
just
of a-
picked up today, so who knows if they're certified, they just picked up applications today.
Ah.
So we had 5 total, okay, one already got another job, one is no longer interested.
Right.
Two
Because
is
they're all
starting,
going
two
out
is
to
just
other
starting
places
their
at this point.
certification and they'll be done by the end of June. One applicant says that she's good to go, however, she hasn't dropped off any paperwork, okay? And
Right,
the
so
two
then we
other
really don't
applicants,
have 5.
and the 2 other applicants have only just picked up their applications this week. So I don't know if they're certified or not, or if they need to go to school or not. So really what you
And the
have
longer
is
you're
2.
waiting, those others that you have, I can guarantee you they're
They're
gonna
getting
start
jobs.
going other places.
We talked about this in February.
So, you don't
I
really
think going
have 5.
forward, they have to make, we have to make a decision too.
Right,
get
so
involved
where's
with
the cutoff is my point, like, when are you gonna finally say,
To have people here all summer,
that's it, we're not gonna have like,
to have people here all summer.
well, for having anything. I mean,
I would tell you right now, if you have 2 legitimate prospects, because the other people that are telling our representatives up here or are, paid employees, they may not have anything, you're telling them they do. They haven't brought them in yet, they haven't really,
it's, you can't count that.
That's
I
right, you
agree.
have the 2 that are
The
still in
ones that are
school.
certified done and you know that they're done, that's all you have is 2.
Well, they're not done yet.
Yeah. Okay, so then you have none.
And you want to be technical, we have 0.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for, thank you.
So I would tell you right now, you have nothing
Okay.
concrete.
So by the next meeting, if we still basically only have under 4, you can't have the
That's
program.
correct.
So as of July 1st,
You
then
may not have anybody.
give it up and let's just say we have no lifeguards for the summer.
Might be.
Look at it, if you're identifying a problem that we all recognize up here, and I think you did share with us that maybe this time next year we won't be this problem, because we've done this separately, it's definitely getting you full-time, or looking at full-time rec.
We've known it since January. Come on.
I'm aware of that, it's not my responsibility, Lori, but I'm just trying to offer to the table where we're moving in the right direction, getting a full-time so that it's actively searching for lifeguards all year round. It's establishing a program that lifeguards, young lifeguards want to return and be proud of our beaches and be proud of being a lifeguard at our beaches. We have an uphill battle here. Ms. Kane and Claudette over there do not have an easy go of it right now because it's a tough one. But I think we have a program with our recreation director, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but someone in charge actively doing it all year round, you may not have this problem issue.
And I think they're also gonna have to come to the realization we gotta have a service.
Yeah. You know,
Because
we're
as
gonna have
everybody, the beach clubs are up, everything else, you're not gonna, the pool is thin.
Well,
I see this in many jobs, that the talent, forget the level, but just the amount of talent that wanna go into these certain jobs, the pool is thin. Like you can't even imagine.
I talked to Stinson at Long Branch this weekend, who was running the whole program in Long Branch. And he's been running it for, I don't know, 30 years, I don't know if you guys know. And one of the things that they are doing is they're bringing exchange students to guard in the summer. And it's a whole program. I talked to him at length this weekend on the boardwalk about that, because even Long Branch is having some problems right now. Once they do that, and this has happened to them before, and they brought people in, as soon as they brought some foreign exchange students in, then 3 summers after that, they were like packed with people that wanted to guard. So that's an avenue that I'm researching with him at this point in time. But again, you know, I brought all the information in January. We needed to start in January. It wasn't started immediately in January, the way it needed to be started. So, you know, there's only so much that can be done because procedure wasn't followed the way it should have been when all the paperwork was brought in.
And then I think the other side of the coin of that is,
I don't know about that, but
Yeah.
well, the reality is this too, if they're doing that there and they have to get people from out of the country, it goes exactly what I said about the amount of people that want to do that job.
right, so then my point is, do we really wanna keep spending this money worrying about it and just,
What am I spending money on? I'm not spending any money.
okay, so.
Yeah, we have people coming in trying to get,
You're not,
applications.
you're not spending, we're not spending any money, but we're giving people that are actively picking up applications or trying to complete their classes and also hope that they'll get a job yet.
Exactly.
Well, listen, if 3 people do pass and it's ready for the end of June, why would we not put them on in July?
Yeah,
If you don't have
You
enough,
can't just surrender.
you can't.
You can.
You just post the time
Showers.
there.
Of course you
So
can.
you're gonna just hire one?
Yeah, if I'd hire one lifeguard to sit out
You
or,
can't.
yes, you can.
Okay. We just have the
I
hours
truly
that
don't
they-
believe you can. I don't.
I would actually have to ask.
They have to, by law, have a certain amount of people, you have to have a head lifeguard, so many people by so many hours.
This question before in the past, hence why the signs went up, because you put the guard in 2 hours and not the rest of the day. You know what I mean? Because it leaves yourself to a bigger liability. Okay, the guy's here for 2 hours and then left. Then my kid drowned on hour 6. Now what? You know, I was on a guarded beach. He didn't work, but he left because there was only one guy and he had to go to lunch. I don't, you know. I guess we really need Brian to weigh in on the safest way to do it, so the liabilities.
The safest way to do it is to start advertising in January last year.
We
This
did.
time,
We
today,
did.
for next.
We did, I did it, believe me, I know, I
We're
did
all
it.
schools in January.
I put it out at every single place for 2 years straight.
Well, unfortunately, there was a course that was run during the week that Henry Hudson was off from school that I turned in the information for at the Y. It was a 4-day course that could have been done by a number of students who were willing to assist that, but somehow that information did not get into the school
We
system.
only have 40 students up there.
Okay, but it doesn't matter. I mean, even if you picked up 2 from there,
But they're
you have
still
3
not
here, and you have
Did you go
5
to-
here.
Did you go to other school districts?
Yes,
Good.
and I went to Monmouth University, and I went to all the other places that I know personally that train these kids and put it in with them and the coaches, and they personally were asking the people they were training, do you want to go and lifeguard here? It's not enough hours, not enough money for some of them. There's a lot better options, other places, that's where they're going. It's like anything, we're not gonna pay, we're not gonna be competitive, they're not coming,
I will be 100%.
you know? So it really, that's the bigger picture, that's what we need
But
to
the
do.
guy looking at the competitive is the
Three
reality.
hundred, 1,000%.
So, I just don't wanna keep putting false hope that people are thinking, we're gonna have lifeguards, because it's been put out there so strongly. And everybody's coming and they're saying, oh, no lifeguards. I mean, I'm sitting there on the beach, I'm seeing these kids come by themselves, because their parents are thinking, oh, there's lifeguards. There are no lifeguards. We need to put the word out, there are no lifeguards. On the beaches in Highlands, your kids are not being watched. It needs to be put out there. Until you for sure have a plan or people or whatever.
I
That's
think
what
we're
I'm
gonna
really
know that
asking.
until July.
Well, they still have signs saying this is an unprotected beach, so.
Right.
It doesn't matter, it still doesn't matter.
We're liability, we're protecting that side.
Okay, but when a kid
I
drowns, are you gonna say, you you know what, there's a sign right there.
You're talking liability, then yeah, that's what
We're actually,
Well,
let's
let's
say it's
just-
safe, we're protected.
That's a whole different story.
I know.
That's why it's on there.
That's why I said, unfortunately, horrible as it is for me to say as a councilman, that sign's up for a reason, to protect us.
Okay, then
God
just keep
forbid.
stating that there's a sign, there's no lifeguard, that's all I'm asking.
I agree.
Don't put the perception that
I agree.
we may have them, we don't, whatever, just please put the word out so that everyone knows there's no lifeguard.
I have one question, just being to stick with the details. Your award for the architect, everything's blank. Do you know what
But we read it in.
Yeah, and no one can pronounce it, so it's Centimbrino, so only you and I will be able to pronounce it.
But what about the
For
contract price not to exceed?
$20,000.
Yeah, and then we said, Barbara, if something happens and it goes past that, we have to come back and have
We'll have to do another
process.
resolution.
So,
And we could have put a higher number, but I asked for a lower
20,000.
number, because we want them to have to come back and explain how they're spending the money. Yes, I believe it's qualifies to a 90% reimbursement.
Yeah.
But we're at a
you still wanna know, right?
We want to know, we want three things, and this kind of forces them to come back. You can't do any more work until we get some more money, great, brief us, and we'll give you more money.
Right, you give them $100 grand, they're gonna be spending a month and they don't have to come back till they spend $100 grand.
Right, so we
No,
don't
it's
give them that
20.
anyway.
You know what I'm saying?
And also, is it possible to have them come into the next
I think so.
session, because we all didn't meet, you know, I know you guys
Sure.
didn't, so.
Absolutely.
Lori DeVille, 3 Matthew, 2 Matthew Street. Okay, I asked a question a while back, and I believe that Tim Hill said that he would look into this. But I think I may have asked it at either at the planning board or here. At the end of Matthew Street on the water side, that is supposed to be a public beach. That is part of the borough property, and there's supposed to be public access there. But one, there's a lot of metal and hazards that are there. That's number one. Number two, the people that live on Matthew Street park these big trucks on the road, and vehicles they use the road as a parking lot. And so it doesn't feel like public access. That's number two. And number three, they built these big stockade fences onto borough property that narrow the access. So if you're looking down the street, all you see are these big trucks and these big fences. And you don't have any idea that there's public access to a beach beyond that. What can we, and Tim Hill said he was going to look into this issue. But I haven't heard anything back.
What I've seen in other towns, I know they put on a sign up that says public access to the beach. I hope that we
When
can
you
do
say
it.
There's
Well,
three
there's a
things that I'm
mechanism
saying.
that
One is that
jumped
there,
up.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying immediately, though, she's saying they wouldn't know, obviously, it's
Yeah.
not gonna tell them.
one is that there's trucks and things that are parked on the road like it's a parking lot. And two is the stockade fences that are built on borough property. And don't we have a limit to the height of fences that are allowed on streets?
Yeah, I think it's
Sure,
4
I think 3 or 4.
4 foot on the front
Right,
and then
so-
6 in the back.
It wasn't, I don't think it's a permitted fence, it's built on the, well, it looks like it's built on borough property rather than on their property, on the property there. And there's these stockade fences on both sides of the street.
But
I mean, maybe somebody could take a look at it.
Dave Ricardo, you should,
Carol, is there
somebody should
something
do
that
it.
happened with them that allowed them to put up a fence that you're aware of? I just remember, I know years ago, Carol Bucko was in here. There were issues with Ms. Bucko and that beach, and I just don't
Was it a
remember.
runoff or something?
And I don't know what things were put in place to stop it, we're not stopping.
We can have our officials check to see. if
Yeah,
there's
Karen's
an
gonna have
issue.
two more people take a look at
And
it.
I'll look into this.
Okay. Carolyn's gonna
Forgive
do
me,
it.
I have not seen Matthew Street, I'm trying to, but I will definitely look into that, because I'm curious now too.
I was just worried about Carolyn.
Yeah, I
Taking
didn't,
notes there.
yeah, I'm trying to envision.
Utility trucks, like electrical service and stuff that are parked on that street, it's like a parking lot.
Yeah, we'll reach back to you. It's
Okay, take a look.
I remember back when the service was meetings all the time.
We'll reach out.
hopefully we have some answers for you in 2 weeks. If they have it sooner, they'll contact you. But, I'll look for it, sure.
Second by Steve Ritter.
Thank you everybody for coming out.
Good night.